Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is MTG Ghoul Dude, and today we're going to be picking back up on the Digging Up the Past series. For all those that are new, this series is a series I started a couple when I first started the channel. It's one of the main reasons for the channel, really. But what we're doing is we're going back through from alpha to the current set, and we're documenting and taking a look at all the older zombies and some of the things you might not have heard of or seen before. And on this episode, we're going to start off with Odyssey, and we're going to do Torment and then Judgement. So a little bit about Odyssey. It was the first set in what would become the Odyssey block. It is the 24th expansion in Magic and was released on October 1st, 2001. It was actually a graveyard focused or graveyard matters expansion, and all the colors interacted with the graveyard or and use it as a resource, though green and black were the strongest of the graveyard colors. Previously, the graveyard had rarely ever been affected gameplay, but Odyssey's cards force players to constantly keep track of both graveyards at all times, including all the cards that said, on the top of your library or on the top of your graveyard, those would take effect. So we're going to start out with Zombie Cannibal. For 1 black, it's a 1/1, and whenever Zombie Cannibal deals combat damage to a player, you may remove target card in that player's graveyard from the game. So, unless they take it, it can't be used against you. And if you're very aggro, this could start, taking out fetch lands and commander and stuff like that and whatnot. Then we're moving on to Crypt Creeper. That's some kind of cartoony, Courage the Cowardly Dog kind of art right there. But Crypt Creeper is a one for 1 and a black. It's a 2/1, and you can sack it or remove target card in a graveyard from the game. So if you really just need to exile something at instant speed, this would be your go-to. Rotting Giant for 1 and a black. It's a 3/3. It's a zombie giant. Whenever it attacks or blocks, you have to sacrifice it unless you remove a card in your graveyard from the game. So if you're really just trying to make sure that you have exiled cards in your graveyard, with some decks that actually might matter, you can most definitely get this out early and start taking your graveyard out. Then we move on to Famish School for 3 and a black. It's a 3/2, and for 1 and a black, you can sack it, remove up to 2 cards in a single graveyard from the game. So if you really need to just get rid of those 2 cards, you can pay a premium of 6 mana. Yeah, just to play it, pop it, go. Then we meet an old friend again in this set, Gravedigger. If you haven't already seen this, it's a 3 and a black for a 2/2, and it brings back a creature from the yard to your hand. Zombie Assassin for 4 and a black. Mana cost is starting to get up there now. Tap it, remove 2 cards in your graveyard and Zombie Assassin from the game, so this has to be on the battlefield to activate. And destroy target non-black creature. It can't be regenerated. And I love the flavor text on this one, and it was said by Braids, Dementia Summoner. Zombies don't kill, they recruit. And that's true for most of the part, Once you become undead, you kind of can't go back anyway. It looks like there's Chainer in the bottom right hand of that art if you're watching this. If you're listening, you can check it out on your own. And now we move into Torment. This was the second set in the Odyssey block. It was the 25th Magic expansion, released on February 8th, 2002. It was notable for its shift from the conventional distribution and equal focus on all the 5 colors of Magic to a particular thematic and mechanical emphasis on the black. With this set, it was actually given the nickname the Black Set because of how prevalent the power up on the black cards in this set was. We're going to start off with Putrid Imp. You may know this guy from Get Raw combo decks. But for 1 in black, and it's a 1/1, you can discard a card from your hand as many times as you have, or you won't. And it gains flying until it is turn. And if you have Threshold, it gets 1/1 and can't block. So it becomes a 2/2 and can't block in the air if you can discard a card to do it. Organ Grinder for 2 and a black. It's a 3/1, and you can tap it and remove 3 cards in your graveyard from the game, and target player loses 3 life. Now, it just may be me, but man, that is some gnarly looking art. That is definitely different. Zombie Trailblazer for 3 black. You get a 2/2, but it has the amazing abilities that say tap an untapped zombie you control. Target land becomes a swamp until end of turn. Zombies do like swamps. And if you tap it and another untapped zombie you control, target creature gains Swamp Walk until end of turn. So basically what it's doing is enabling your big swingers, like, I don't know, like a Grave Titan swing through. Maybe not. Gloom Drifter, and this art just looks so different to me, because it just looks like a zombie's just floating through the air, even though it has flying, and he's got a sheet over his head or a blanket around him. But Gloom Drifter for 3 and a black, you get a 2/2 and has flying naturally. So, but if it gets Threshold when it comes into play, non-black creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. So late game it can wipe a board of 2/2s. Mid game it can wipe a board of 1/1s. In early game it could just take out some mana dorks, as long as they're not mixed in with green and you're not playing it also. Carrion Worm for 3 and 2 black. You get a 6/5 zombie worm. Whenever it attacks or blocks, any player may remove 3 cards in his or her graveyard from the game. If the player does, Carrion Worm deals no combat damage this turn. Or they could just take the 6 and keep what's in their graveyard. Grotesque Hybrid. Now, is it just me? Or does this 3/3 for 5 really look like a bird with a horse body? Maybe that's just me. But Grotesque Hybrid deals combat damage. Whenever it does, destroy that creature, it can't be regenerated. So for 5, you get a 3/3 that can, if you can give it first strike, it just insta kills the creature. And you can discard a card from your hand, and it gains flying and protection from green and white, hence the black set remark from earlier. Oh, something happened. Alright, my bad. A little technical difficulty. Now we move on to Judgement. This was the last set in the Odyssey block, and it was the 26th expansion. It was released on May 27, 2002. In addition to there being more white and green cards and fewer black cards, all of the multicolor cards in this set are green-white or a mix, and all of the lands are associated with green or white. Now, this one's going to be a little short because Judgement did not have a lot of zombies come back through. But we did get 2 rare ones. Balthor the Defiled for 2 and 2 black. You get a 2/2, and all minions get +1/+1. But the more important part that we have is the ability he has that reads, for 3 black you can remove him from the game, and each player returns all black and red creature cards from his or her graveyard to play. So if you're the only one playing red and black, this is about to be a blowout for your opponents, especially if you can find a way to give them haste. Then our last card for today, Sutured Ghoul. For 4 and 3 black, you get a star zombie with trample. When it comes into play, you may remove any number of creature cards in your graveyard from the game. Now, we're not too keen on exiling zombies from our graveyard, but if for something that's big, sometimes we'll look the other way and just go on ahead and get rid of some cards. But the best part about it is, his power and toughness is equal to the total power of the removed cards, and its toughness is equal to their total toughness. So if you exile, I don't know, 30 creatures worth of 30 30 power worth and 27 toughness worth. It's going to be a 30-27. It's pretty big. And it's got trample, so it can maybe get through on the later turns. But that's going to be all for today, everybody. If you have any questions or concerns for the channel, you can hit me up on the Twitter at MTGGoulDude, and you can also leave a comment. And if this is something you like seeing and you want to see more of it, subscribe, hit the bell, and I will see you guys on the next one.